as far as certain touches go, but what you see is what you get here, I tell you.
And pay for.
Well, people ask me what I think about when I think of car, and I think credit cards. And lastly, I'd just like to mention the two lads. Thanks, boys, and we're so damn proud of you both.
Put your mask on. And doesn't he just love himself?
Here we go.
Right, face the glass.
And so say all of us. And so say all of us. And so say all of us. For he's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. Hip hip hooray! Hip hooray! Hip hooray! Tony.
Tony actually, Justin done too badly. He strung a couple of words together. The odd anecdote, reasonably passable. What we want to do now, though, is provide the opportunity for those who want to respond, but in due course. He's wasted so much of our drinky time this afternoon. What I do want to remind you of, though, is Karen's role in this. Of course, Tony was actually anxious to put it to naught, and we understand why, and that's fair enough. It's based on years of attrition, basically. Tone's had it as decently as any married man of like 50 years has. But what we do want to remind ourselves of is that, of course, there are the moments that we've shared with Tone that, of course, he's put it on us. And what I did note this afternoon was that it's a bit like the rabbit. You guys, when Tone stood up, and this has never happened in his life before, you all sit there, you know, sort of the headlights are on you, you're going, oh my God. I watched Viv when he stood up and said, you know, and Viv's just sitting there going, Tone, there are a range of things that you can talk about here. You're 50, I'm very close to it, and it's really an appropriate thing that we should measure each other. It's a bit like the dentist and the woman, you know, the hands on the girlies. Life's pretty much like that in the Hines household. Anyway, Lovell I'd like to introduce first of all to have his first moment, but thereafter...
No, you just asked.
Well, this has got the ability to go on all afternoon, so we'll just keep it to the odd few who have got those furlers that can put Tone in the appropriate place at this stage. Try not to be the rabbit in the headlights. Is there anybody who'd like to say anything?
Someone brought a boat across from Sorrento. I don't remember who it was, but Tony decided to get onto this boat from Sorrento. And then all of a sudden the boat's separating from the pier, and Heinz's got 1 foot on the boat and 1 foot on the pier. And holding on to Jack, right? And all of a sudden there's too much water between the pier and the boat, isn't there? Heinz is in the bloody drink. We're all plastered, so we're pissing ourselves laughing. And I've never seen Tony angry, right? But Tony was angry. Boy, was he angry.
I was cold.
He was angry for the rest of the afternoon. And to make matters worse, we bought a bloody live lobster. And we had all these theories about how to kill this friggin' lobster. And someone said put it in cold water, so we put it in cold water in the sink, and the bloody thing squealed and splashed water everywhere, and Heinz is getting angrier and angrier. And we're all pissing ourselves laughing. It's the one time I've seen him angry.
And we invited Tony and Karen up to a place called Bang-A-Lot. The sign actually says Bundalong, but it's known as, it used to be called Bang-A-Lot. Now we call it Bang-A-Bit. Ham already knows it as what's a bit. up there, and of course we knew Karen was the sort of the Victorian water ski champion. We were sort of skiers.
Australia.
Yes,
Australia.
the world water ski champion. We'd seen the photo in the bathroom. We had the boat out there, and we said to Tony, well, you know, do you want to have a ski? And we knew this, and Tony said, yeah, and we said, how many skis would you like? And Tony said, oh, two. He thought most people started on 3. And impressed Karen by doing 2. So he got out behind the boat, and Heinz skied in what we would call the camping squat. Most people ski in the bum end position. He's got the feet wide. I mean, unfortunately, he had full support, you know, speedos on. There would have been something else in the wash. And he had the arse out. I reckon his bum was beyond the end of the ski. And of course, Heinzie, who was known to sort of, you know, when he walks, he drags his knuckles. His hands were over the tips of the ski, so his arse out the back of the ski, his hands were over the tip, you know, and he was sort of doing this, you know, like so that Karen would be impressed. And then Karen got out, you know, and we're all on the back of the boat, and we had the harness on, and Karen goes out and gets on. She says, "I'll try one ski." You know, she said, "I haven't skied for a while," and Karen gets out there. So right, you know, we've got the engine on the full throttle, and and she's out there, and she goes out into this whip, you know, and we're all in the back of the boat. We had a harness. You know how they have a pole in the middle so the boat doesn't shift. We're all in the boat, and Karen goes out in the whip, and we're all going, "Oh!" We're hanging on, and the back of the boat's fishtail. You know, so Karen was sort of skiing, the boat was doing the slalom. Anyway, Tony, you know how giant econders can disarticulate? Well, Heinz was down here, the top of his head was over here, and his jaw was down there. Anyway, that was the last time I think Heinz ever tried to impress Karen skiing. I think actually that was the end of his skiing career. And I just thought I'd share that memory with you.
I've got a little thing I want to share about Heinz, but just, first of all, I just want to pass a general comment, which was to say that if this is the interior of Heinz's mind, which we've had to share for like 3/4 of an hour, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm quite cramped and claustrophobic. Anyway, just a little embellishment on the story about the islands of knowledge in the sea, ignorance, because you see, I was there too, I was in Heinz's medical student group, and I can remember a ward round with Professor Pennington, and we were asked, Heinz was put on the spot, you know, and he didn't like being on, you know, he's up the back there trying to hide that sort of gaudy stick-like thing. And Professor Pennington, Mr. Heinz, what is this particular skin discoloration that this patients get? Now, I can't even remember what they are now, but they're called cafe au lait stains. Cafe au lait stains are these sort of pigmented spots you get. And Heinz kind of couldn't think of it for a while, but then he kind of got it, because every medical student knows this thing. And he didn't want to say it, because cafe au lait was French. And Heinz hates French, English, fucking everybody. But he's on the spot, you see, so he's got to say it, so he's like this, and he's saying, coffee or late. Which Professor Pennington says, Mr. Heinz, you have an island of knowledge in the sea of ignorance. Heinz has a peculiar physical disorder which we don't like to talk about, but I've noticed it runs in the family. And on this occasion, I've got to tell you that he blushed, but he blushed right up to a wonderful sight. It's a bench.